everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over a winter storm that is actually starting to hit the northwest today, especially Montana. It's going to be lasting until your Monday, so we are having a big time frame of this, and it's actually a blizzard, and we could actually in some areas see wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour. So 80 miles an hour and really heavy snow. This will be a very historical storm. We do see snow in these regions in September, but it's never really this bad. We never see the huge blizzard. We see them every once in a while, but we never see huge blizzards like this, or it's not very common. So if you do go on to enjoy today's video, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below, and let's go ahead and get into it. So you can see in these pinks right here, and these pinks is where we do have our winter storm warnings in place. So in these areas, we'll be seeing very heavy snow, a lot of snow, and it's going to be very bitter cold in these regions too. Also very, very windy. Now you can see in these blue regions, we actually do have winter storm watches. So, snowy conditions most likely in the next 48 hours. If you're in this winter storm warning, it's about to happen. And that's pretty much what these do mean. It's happening. And in this lighter orange, we are seeing these high wind warnings. This is where we could see gusts up to 80 miles an hour. So, very, very bad winds here. We'll have snow on top of that, and it will be... Some of it will be that wet snow that is really heavy, so we will expect a lot of power outages, a lot of fallen trees. That's what we should be expecting. You can see right here in these darker, maybe even those brown. That's where we do have this high wind watch into place, so we won't see the winds so quickly. Like, we won't be seeing them as soon as we are in those lighter oranges, but we will definitely be seeing them in the high wind watch regions. So expect some big winds there, just not as quick as they are seeing it there. We're not as close to it as they are. So that's what that means. You can see we do have very cold air in place. You can see right now for the southeast we have record highs, really hot temperatures, pretty much for the mid-Atlantic and the southeast, but especially the southeast. But you can see up here we've had way below average temperatures. And we are seeing quite a bit of moisture moving into these regions, which is dropping quite a bit of snow. Now, if we were to look right here at the latest model run of the GFS, you can see this is what it is like now. You can see we do have this low pressure in place, and we do have the rain moving in. So usually we do see this rain come in first, a lot of times in these storms. Just because, it is still September, so it's not going to be, it's not going to be widespread cold yet, but we do still have some colder regions. But right now we're seeing mainly rain, some snow mixing in those highest elevations, but really starting tonight and into tomorrow is where things do start to change and conditions start to worsen. So you can see this is going to be starting tomorrow. So it's a little, sometime tomorrow. I think we could see it a little earlier. Maybe even early tomorrow, but this is sometime tomorrow. You can see we do see some snow starting to move into the highest elevations, and we do see some pretty heavy rain coming down. You can see across northern Washington we have that mix of rain and snow, and then across western Washington we do have that rain. And you can see right here where we're actually going to be seeing the main bulk of that moisture coming down. And ahead of this, we're seeing very bad winds. Today, we're seeing really bad winds. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we'll be seeing some really rough winds too. So Friday may be a little bit of a break when it comes to winds. But you can see as we move into your early Saturday morning or Friday night, you can see here the snow does move into northern Washington, northwestern Montana, and other than that, we're seeing very heavy rains across southern Idaho, parts of western Wyoming, northwestern Wyoming. We are seeing some snow in those highest elevations, of course, and you can see across central and eastern Montana, we are seeing some rain. And then in those, where we don't have those highest elevations in Washington, where the elevations aren't that high or they're just not high enough for snow, we are seeing some very heavy rain, maybe some snowflakes mixed in. You can see this is your Saturday afternoon into evening into your nighttime. And this was when things really start to ramp up. We'll be seeing some pretty bad winds during this time. This is when those high wind warnings will definitely be coming into place quite a bit. You can see how these isobars are close to each other. When the isobars are close to each other, that does indicate some pretty bad winds. And you can see how close they are. They're not the closest that you'll ever get in the storm, by no means. But you can see they're pretty close together, which does mean we will end up seeing quite a bit of wind with this system. That's why it's called a blizzard. We're seeing very, very bad winds. And you can see across during this time, that has northeastern Montana getting pounded by the snow, and pretty much all northern Montana getting hit by the snow. Parts of northern Washington, they're parts of Oregon, into parts of the Sierra Mountains, but that's not really the big story over here. This is really the big story for Montana. You can see parts of eastern Idaho we're getting some snow in, and then across a lot of Wyoming, southern Montana, parts of North Dakota, also into Utah, parts of eastern Nevada, we're seeing really heavy rain in place. But you can see right here how we do have these really dark blues across this region. Right where that barrier is, we'll have that really wet snow and those winds on top of each other, which can cause a lot of power outages. So that's what I'm kind of worrying about, where you do have the really wet snow, where you're really close to getting the rain. You're around your 32-degree mark, and then you have those really bad winds. And remember, the wet snow really, when it piles up, it gets really heavy. So do expect power outages where you do see that really heavy snow. Wet snow. And you can see into your Sunday morning, that's it kind of turns over to rain in northeastern Montana after that the cold of the night goes away. And you can see we have a lot of our snow mainly across western Montana, eastern Idaho, and we do actually have some across northeastern Nevada, some mixed with rain in southern Idaho, and same thing in northwestern Wyoming. Northwestern Utah, and pretty much the same in western Wyoming, but pretty much northwestern Wyoming, where you do have those highest elevations right here, we could be seeing all snow. And then other than that, across western Wyoming, rain. North Dakota, you're seeing some rain over here. Parts of where you're right there, right north of North Dakota, right north of Minnesota and Canada. Also in parts of northern Minnesota, we are seeing a lot of moisture of that. We're seeing quite a bit of rain moving in. And it'll be very cold rain, so it's not going to be some of that, that warmer rain. It's going to be very cold rain if you're in the rain. It's going to most likely be really heavy, too, at times. You can see this will be by your Sunday afternoon. You can see we do have some pretty widespread snow across parts of western Montana, also parts of north central Montana. You can see across central and northern Idaho, we're seeing some pretty consistent snow, heavy at times. Remember, in those darkest blues, if we even do see some pinks, that's where you'll be seeing your heaviest snow. And you can see, of course, here's your low pressure, and we do actually have a lot of cold air feeding in from Canada, especially, where you do have those high pressures in place. And just because Canada has so much cold air coming down, because it's Canada. And you can see parts of central and eastern Washington, we're seeing snow. It's some of those lower elevations, rain, or maybe a mix. And you can see across central Oregon, where we see those those colder temperatures, and wherever we do get the moisture in, we could definitely be seeing some snow. Same deal over northern Utah and northern Nevada. Some really heavy rain in some regions and some snow in some regions. So that's what we're watching out. Elevation is really key once you get to where we don't have as much moisture and the cold air is, a little bit more scarce. Elevation is key. Now you can see this will be by your Monday, getting into your late afternoon into evening. Western and northern Montana, you're having your one last hurrah with the snow. It will be moving out in a few hours after that. You can see it's actually lifting into Canada. The moisture will be lifting, but we actually will be having some severe weather moving across, and also some to move across parts of. We will have some across the East Coast, as you will see in a minute. But you can see some pretty heavy snow still across central, some snow across central Idaho still. Parts of Oregon where we do have that rain and snow, maybe some snow in those highest elevations. Northern Washington where we do actually have those, northeastern Washington where we actually do have those winter storm watches in place. But the main story is really across western Montana, and the main story is definitely going to be across this region right here. This is where we're seeing the most of it, or somewhere in here. Right there is where we're seeing the most of our snow, and you'll see that in a second from the Weather Channel's forecast. So you can see we do have some snow lingering around into Monday afternoon, some snow, maybe some consistent snow, but this is when you start to see those snow showers, some rain showers where it's not cold enough, pretty much just in those highest mountainous regions. And you can see this does move through Canada, and you can see how it does bring some showers to the northeast, but nothing too crazy. We have this high pressure in place. This is going to be, once this storm system moves through, once this one part moves through, we're going to be seeing a lot of cooler air moving behind it, as you will see. This is a different low pressure, so this is not right with this system, but it is helping it out a little bit. You can see some severe weather across the central United States. And then we see some rain moving to the eastern United States. You can see that high pressure moving across. And then what that does result in is some cooler temperatures. And you can see right here how we do actually have some cooler temperatures for the northeast, and parts of the northwest we still do have those cooler temperatures. So it is bringing some cooler temperatures, and you can see on its way across, it's going to be bringing more cooler temperatures a little bit after that to a lot of the East Coast, as I was covering yesterday. And if we were to look at your ensemble models, this will reassure you, and you will see after it does move through sometime in early October, you can see here it is. This is your Tuesday, so it's starting to move across. And you can see how we do have this big bulk of really hot air across the eastern United States. It's not going to go away automatically. That will not happen. You can see the second the cold air starts to start creeping in. Still really hot air across a lot, or just above average across the east. But you can see we still do see a lot of this cold air coming in along with this hotter air across the east. It's still trying to hold in sometime on the 3rd. And you can see definitely by the 4th of October, this will be your afternoon. You can see how it does expand into the northeast, into the mid-Atlantic, down into the central United States, down still in the west, the northwest, the whole northern tier of the United States. Really the parts where we're seeing it is parts of the southeast. Right there, and then parts of Colorado, maybe a little bit above average, but you'll still be cold. And you can see really the only hottest area will be where you see hot conditions this time of year. And you can see how by the 5th it's still coming down, the cooler air. By the 6th it's still here. By the 7th it's still here. By the 8th it's still here. And by the 9th it's still here, especially across the east, as I was covering yesterday. You can see by the 10th it's still here. And then by the 11th it's still here. And then you can see by the 12th, it is still here. So we have this consistent cooler air with the GEFS ensembles. Now, the Europeans a little bit in disagreement, so we're going to have to see which one is right. But right now, we're looking at this one. This one's been very consistent, which is good to look at with these models. This is an ensemble, so, we definitely do have to look. These are looking at they're trying to sum all the models up. And you can see cooler temperatures across the east, hopefully and most likely coming somewhere around your 4th or 5th. I know a lot of the meteorologists have a lot of YouTube meteorologists have covered it, but if you go to the Weather Channel or it's the big people, they really haven't been talking about it. They see the hotter temperatures, they want to make a big story about it, but they're not going to cover the cool down coming in probably around the 4th or 5th, because that'll give them they won't have anything to talk about. But if you do have to look at these models, and you can see this is what we're going to be seeing by the 4th or 5th. After these big bunches of that winter storm comes through, then we see some severe weather after it, and then we should get that one big cold front to come through, bring a lot of severe weather, and then finally bring in the cooler temperatures. Okay, so if we were to look at the snowfall, we're going to go back to the blizzard, snowstorm, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be, it's going to be a blizzard, but it's going to be a winter storm. You can see in these whites where we'll see 3 foot plus. So in those highest elevations of northern Montana, where we have that consistent snow throughout your Friday, some parts of your Friday into your Saturday, into your Sunday, into your Monday. So like almost 3 or 4 days of consistent snow, really heavy snow, no mix. It'll stay as a snow in those really cold temperatures. 3 plus feet, so 36 inches plus. I do think we could push the 4 feet mark, maybe even a little bit more, but 4 feet seems to be what we could be seeing across some of those regions. As we do move into your lighter pink, so your lightest pink, that is going to be 2 to 3 feet. So you can see that's in parts of the mountainous regions of Wyoming right here. You can also see off into some of these higher elevations, off the highest elevations, you can see right off the eastern side of the 4 feet, right off of that, where it's not as high, but it still has a really high elevations. That's where we're seeing the 2 to 3 feet. That's a lot of snow. It's 24 to 36 inches. As we do move into your dark pink, that is 18 to 24 inches. So 1.5 feet to 2 feet of rain. I mean snow. Gosh, it's I'm still getting used to the snow again. That's pretty widespread across a lot of these regions in those high elevations. You can see into your darkest purple is where we're seeing 12 to 18 inches, so 1 foot to 1.5 feet of snow. So this will be really widespread near Great Falls. Great Falls, you'll probably be 15 inches about. That is, I know that y'all love it there, and it's it's definitely it's getting into these major cities, which is always a concern. But I have learned throughout the years that when it's a 2-inch snow, it's more dangerous than an 18-inch snow, because you really can't drive in the 18-inch. You're not going to try to go out. But if it's 2 inches, you think, okay, it's only 2 inches of snow, it's fine. But usually the 2 inches, it's just more dangerous because you're on the road and it's usually a big sheet of ice, or people don't know 2 inches can still be dangerous on the road. It can be just as dangerous, and usually it's more dangerous than 2 inches of snow for a lot of drivers. So it's pretty bad travel weather. Probably no one traveling. I would expect maybe some storm, people that love to be out there, some storm chasers, when it comes to winter might do that. But I don't advise travel. I mean, obviously, I think everyone does know that lives there. You're really used to it. As we do move into that medium purple, this is very widespread across Missoula. You can see across, I'm not very sure how to say that. I do not want to say it wrong. I do not live in that part of the United States. Let's just say B-U-T-T-E. I think it's Butte or Butte. I know I sound really stupid right now, but in that region and around that. But it's going to be across a lot of western Montana, and you can see across eastern Idaho. These are those high elevations, but you're kind of in the mid-levels. But you're still seeing a lot of that snow, even parts of southwestern Montana into parts of northwestern Wyoming. So we're seeing quite a bit of these regions in the 8 to 12 inches, which is a considerable big amount of snow, especially for September for, any part of the U.S. As we do move into your lightest purple, that is where we're seeing 5 to 8 inches. That's going to be where we do not see, you can see actually earlier, I meant to say these regions into the 5 area. I'm sorry about that. But in these regions, you're in the 5 to 8 Missoula, and then into the other regions where you're seeing it. But still, I do think we could push into that 8 inches in a lot of these regions. I do think we could have more widespread of those places where we're seeing a foot of snow. You can see we actually do have some over here and pushing a foot of snow. And then same thing over here. That's why we do have winter storm watches across these regions. But remember, the winter storm warnings are around here. That's why they are here. Quite a bit of snow. As we do move into the 3 to 5 inches, or your darkest blue, that is where we'll be seeing those 3 to 5 inches. I don't see too much of that. That's going to be across parts of northeastern Nevada and just other regions of possibly of Oregon where you are in that darkest blue. I don't see too many regions, but that's going to be right off your 5 to 8 inches of snow wherever that was. You can see this patch right here. We're seeing quite a bit of that. Okay, as we do move into your medium green, that's 1 to 3 inches. So here is a really dangerous part. I know that some people say it's only 1 to 3 inches, but once again, 1 to 3 inches can be very dangerous on the roads because it can be a full sheet of ice sometimes, especially too. You can see it's moving into parts of northeastern Montana, and just in a lot of those regions where you're getting some of that snow, but that rain mix. And a lot of these places is possibly some of the cases could be where it's going to be raining at the beginning and then we get a little bit of snow at the end. That's what some of these cases are. Or some of it's just where we don't have much moisture, which is across a lot of these regions where we're not seeing as much of that moisture moving in, which is definitely something we are, looking at. And in that lightest green, up to 1 inch. So 1 inch of snow, it's 1 inch of snow here that will not get you out of school. Probably the 1 to 3 won't get you out of school either. Maybe even not the 3 to 5, but that's kind of pushing it. But anywhere up to 3 inches, it really don't get you out of school, which is a little dangerous, but they got it there. They know what they're doing. But up to 1 inch, where you are in those lightest blues, that's where we're seeing that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. I kind of wanted to tell y'all, the time frame. I don't know what they did for the time frame here. Okay, this is Friday to Monday night, so this is a big time frame. Remember, the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is probably going to be our biggest. You can see right here, Montana's our main state. Yellowstone, you're going to be seeing that moving on your Monday and Tuesday, mixed rain and snow Saturday and Sunday. Missoula, you'll see rain on Saturday, rain on Friday. You can see 60, down to 47, down to 37. So possibly Sunday we could see some in that 5 to 8 inches. A lot of these will be that nighttime snow. I'm guessing that Sunday night we could see quite a bit, possibly even Saturday night. We're going to have to see. If we do get a good pack of snow into your Saturday night, we could keep the temperatures down for Sunday and keep you at all snow if we do get enough of a snowpack. But you can see, as we move into Great Falls, Friday is your 48 degrees where you are seeing the rain and clouds. Probably late Fridays where you get some of those rain showers to move in. Throughout the night, we are most likely going to be seeing that moving into the snow. And then throughout your Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we see a lot of that heavy, wet snow. So once again, heavy, wet snow is definitely not good when we do see that because the wet snow is very, very heavy. So here's where we could definitely be seeing power outages. You can see our average highs around 60s and upper 50s in Yellowstone. So that's, this is quite a bit for this time of year. But I'm pretty sure they do have everything ready, or they're about to get it ready. I'm not too concerned, but I am concerned, because, any bad snow is bad. Not good for any part of the country. But you can see for Great Falls, Sunday's probably going to be your worst day. Yellowstone, once again, Friday, clouds and sun. Probably that Saturday it'll be rain and snow. Sunday it'll be rain and snow. Probably Sunday night and Saturday night we're seeing it moving over to all snow, and then Monday it should be all snow, and Tuesday it should be all snow. Remember, Tuesday is kind of when it's moving out, so we're gonna have to see actually how much we'll get from these, from the snow when it is moving out. We're gonna have to see, and you can see for Billings, Montana, we shouldn't expect much. Rain Saturday, rain Sunday, rain Monday. If we were to look back up here, if you want to go look back at the snow totals, you can see Billings are pretty much out of it. I would not be surprised if we do see a couple of snowflakes possibly some of these nights, especially Monday night or maybe Sunday night, Saturday night. Not too sure. We definitely could see a couple flurries when it gets a little cooler, but don't expect much there at all. You can see their highs are really cold, especially in those highest mountainous regions across a lot of the west. And that's pretty much all for this. You can see the lows. Pretty cold, and those were the highs if you were wondering. And these are the lows. Bitter cold lows, a lot of really cold. And that's what we're looking at. So, yeah, guys, I hope y'all did enjoy today's video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.